Good afternoon, Dr. Webb. This is the Reflect and Connect that's due on Wednesday the 3rd. Um, this article primarily talks about strategies and things that teachers should just be more informed about for dealing with children with special needs. The first thing it goes over is the story of a now current teacher who was born without the part of her arm like below the elbow or elbow. And she goes to talk about how a lot of different teachers would tell her, "Oh, you can't hold this correctly," or "Oh, you can't play this instrument," or she tried to do the drum corps, and then they said, "No, you can't." And for example, they told her that she shouldn't play the trumpet because she can't hold it properly. And then the next year, she decided to play the trumpet, and not only did she do well for a high school student, she was primarily first chair, all except one time in her senior year. She then became to be a music teacher and majored in music and was very successful in music, even though she had a physical disability that a lot of teachers might think it's impossible to overcome or too difficult, or just try to, like, I guess, go to a quicker solution than trying to have the student learn with the instrument they wanted. As she said, and a lot of other students probably agree with this, that if she couldn't play the instrument that she wanted to, then she wouldn't have been in the band and she would have just done chorus instead. And I'm sure that's a lot of one point that a lot of students have, that if they cannot play the instrument that they would prefer, then they don't particularly want to play in the ensemble because of that, and because they're not playing the instrument they asked for. Another thing it goes over is that teachers have to be informed, and they have to know what what disabilities the students have, and also like ways to treat them in different, like, how they will be, um and just spend a few times even just researching some articles or understanding more of um instead of generalized things about treating special needs students, different solutions for students with those specific needs. The article even says that a very small percentage of the students that are in special education programs or have physical or mental disabilities, they very infrequently are in the program. I believe the stat was that um, far less than the overall. I didn't. There wasn't a stat, but it said far less than the overall percentage of students with disabilities are in performing ensembles. This is something that could definitely be increased with the teachers spending more time, being more thoughtful about the students and coming up with more solutions for them. Again, like the woman said in the first bit, her students were good. Our teachers were all great teachers. They just didn't know how to handle or deal with the disability she had with the arm, and they decided to more try to like push her away from what she wanted to do. So just one main thing is understanding the disability and knowing what the student has and different like ways to help the student out. Um, or even just talk with, if the student has a one-on-one, just talk with them, get to understand them, um, go through their IEP, read through this very carefully. There will be different adaptations that might have to be done while you're in the classroom towards these students. These could be both very specific things or very general things that can apply to many students. One thing that we talked about in class, and when I did my teacher interview with Mr. Duncan, he brought that up very specifically, that proximity is something that's very important. Um, Both having your students very close to you, to be for you to be able to see them you be able to communicate with them, as well as them being close to maybe a higher performing student, someone who is succeeding greatly in the class, is another great thing to do. Another thing that might be done is, say a student still wants to be part of the ensemble and has an instrument they want to play, but they are really struggling. To keep them involved, you can simplify their parts to allow them to still be part of it. If there's a quick 16th note section, maybe just have them play the section as eighth notes. And then another thing you can do is you can have recordings of yourself playing things to just have the students use that as a reference in when they practice. You can also give them practice buddies. Another thing that you can do is say you know most of your rep that you're doing for a different concert. You can give this student the rep early so they can practice it far in advance to get it really under their fingers. Another thing that might need to be done is for like a physical disability, they might need to have maybe like a larger grips or things that are easier, like more tactile. They also might need like tactile, like not responsive but references. Maybe you put like felt on the back of the violin or for where their thumb should be. I know even when we were in school here, like I had felt on the back of my neck for my bass at some points, which is something that I think worked well. Another thing that you can do is just after you're discussing with the teacher, or just you can also then put your students around people they're more comfortable with. Say they don't have a teacher or their one-on-one knows who they are friends with. Allowing them to be with them just to have someone they're more comfortable next to and have them play with someone they're more comfortable next to. I know this is going long, so that'll wrap it up for this Reflect and Connect.